KILR Killer Game.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer and welcome to my tour around the world featuring Microsoft Flight Simulator 4. And we are going to be heading west. Sorry, east. I don't know my west from my east apparently. So we're heading back towards Illinois, but not crossing into Illinois just yet. We will talk about that right now. So right here is where we're at, in Waterloo Municipal, and we're coming in this direction right here to Dubuque Municipal. So we're still going to be in Iowa. This is the Mississippi River right here, which is the border of Iowa and Illinois. So we're just coming right over here. Should be a decent flight. I don't think it'll take too long. We'll tune into Dubuque. Let's see. I know there's a we'll see if we can land on runway 18. So if we take Waterloo and leave at a 090 radial, that should be good, and we can link up with Dubuque. Alright. Let's go ahead and get our radios set up here. Dubuque is 115.8. And Waterloo is 112.2. And there we go. Now we want to go ahead and set... Oh, this is almost set. If we used the back course, it would have been set. Just have to switch it around. Okay. 180. And this we're flying off at 090. And there we go. We are all ready to go. Let's go ahead and get our... I want to take a look at the map here for a second and see which way we want to take off. Okay, I think this runway maybe? I think that should take us 180, so this is 180 here. I don't think this is 90, that might be. Yeah, how about we take this one? I don't think it's going to matter too much. I mean, we just change our vector if we have to. Man, I tell you, the taxiways here are just kind of like meh. Just some thin line that's just kind of drawn there. And yes, I saw this on, I believe, the Commodore 64 and the Commodore Amiga both looked like this too. I recorded them all at different times, so it's not like I'm flying the Commodore 64 and then flying the Amiga and then flying this and then flying. I group them all together. It's easier to edit them and produce them when I do it that way. It's just like, you know, any film project. You never film a project from start to finish. Usually you group all particular scenes together. Don't know why it does that. So likewise, that's how I'm doing all of these Flight Simulator videos. I do them as a group. And the old ones I've been trying to group together as much as possible. The later ones are taking a bit more work to do. X-Plane, for example, I might be able to get a flight recorded in advance, but lately I've only been able to get them edited within the same week that I want to upload it, because there's a lot of work that goes into the X-Plane videos. It's not just the actual flight. We'll go over here to this runway. Looks like it's going to be runway 13. Lucky number 13. I wonder if we can try our autopilot again and see if it works, or if it decides to crash us. I don't know. You know, after looking at the sky and those patches in the sky, I get kind of used to thinking, oh yeah, look, it's a cloudy sky. It's amazing after you play, and that's another reason why I like to play these in groups. I'll usually like try to record like maybe five flights or more at a time on one simulator. Alright, let's get ourselves set up here. Because like with DOSBox, or in some cases with the other ones where I have to load it up in VMware, it's like once I have that up and running, I just want to go ahead and just record the flights with it. So I'll be on a particular version for a while recording flights. They may not get edited right away, but they are getting recorded. And I get so used to playing with the old graphics that when I finally get to the later ones, like let's say like Flight Simulator 2002 and 2004 FS9, it's like the graphics, I'm just like, oh wow. I missed this. Whoa. Hold on. We're close to the VOR, so trying to get locked into it here. VOR number 2, in case you're wondering which one I'm trying to lock ourselves on. The closer you are to a vor, the easier it is for that needle to get off base there. I think that should do it right there. Almost. There we go. You know, the past couple of flights I used the air traffic control and I completely forgot to request a landing. I think the air traffic control that's there is just kind of a novelty thing, if anything. It's just kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. Then it's not so exciting after a while, so it's the same thing over and over. Alright, I'm going to set the autopilot here. Let's see, autopilot number... Whoops. Autopilot, F. That's what we want. Altitude lock 4. Let's go ahead and do 4,000. 4,000 feet. And we'll turn the autopilot master switch on. And I think we should be good to go from here. Boom, 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 boom. There he goes. Wow, we got 70 miles to go to get to Dubuque. Well, one thing's for sure, with the autopilot, it arranges it in such a way that allows my speed to go up. That's good. That should make our flight a little bit more quicker than usual. We'll keep it at full power and hopefully it won't take too long to get there. Alright, so what are we going to talk about here? How about we talk about doing a series on P3D with the World Tour. Let's talk about that. Because I'm going to assume that at the time of recording this, I have not started anything with Prepared yet. In case you don't know, Prepared is by Lockheed Martin. They had bought the... they bought the rights to Flight Simulator 10 from Microsoft, or at least a certain agreement with it where they can't release it as a game. It can only be released as a simulation, or, you know, for business purposes or whatever. Whereas the one on Steam was Dovetail Games, got the gaming rights for that. But anyway, so P3D is pretty much FSX, Flight Simulator 10, except with version 4, it's now 64-bit. I think there's a few lighting enhancements. I don't think there's too much more than that, though. At least the impression that I've gotten from it. I mean, it looks good, but it also just looks like FSX, at least to me. But all these different flight simulators, I'm trying to do something different, with it for this world tour. So let's say, for example, FS4. Right now, the dash looks pretty much the same as the Commodore Amiga version. Now, if I can get the graphics portion of this, just in case you're wondering if I have a legit copy, I do, it's right here. If I can get this, the graphics portion of this working, then we'll be able to use the upgraded control panel, and which will look completely different than the one that's on the Amiga, and it won't look like we're flying two simulators that look a lot, alike. Plus, I've got these ground texture thingamajiggers. They're not really textures, but these are the large rectangles. The small rectangles don't seem to. I never see anything when I do small rectangles. And this is already an improvement over the Commodore Amiga version. Many of the features from Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 3 and 4, they had lifted from the SubLogic Flight Simulator 2 for the Amiga. It was considered the third generation Flight Simulator. Now, Flight Simulator 3, I haven't started a series on yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to be limited. It's going to look a lot like Flight Simulator 4, I think. But getting back to prepared, so it's compatible with FSX. A lot of the FSX stuff that is out there will work on prepared. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to use the same exact stuff that I'm using on FSX on prepared. I want to be able to do something different. So like Flight Simulator 2004, for textures, I'm going to be using, F-Scene, but not this one. It's F-Scene 4X. The F-Scenes I just showed you, they do work with Flight Simulator 2004, but I'm actually going to use them for 2002. For FSX, I have the Orbix overhaul. So I have the base, the land class, the vectors, and I have high definition trees. So I've got that going on. It looks great too. It's like almost like a whole new sim. Also with FS9, along with the F-Scene, I will be making use of these. These are from Mega Scenery, or PC Aviator, the ones that do Mega Scenery. So I've got the Mega Cities. I've got Atlanta, Denver, San Francisco. Phoenix is in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So I got Phoenix, I've got Dallas, and then there's like volumes 1 through 5 or something like that. So volume 1 is Southern California, volume 3 is Northern California, volume 2, where's volume 2 at? Is that volume 2? Yeah, volume 2 is New York. Out of all the Mega Scenery ones, this is the only one that came in a big box. And that's volume 2. Volume 4 is this one here. This is Pacific Northwest, so it's Seattle, Washington State. And then this I got brand new for $1. Now Volume 5, and this is the Mid-Atlantic. This is Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and surrounding areas. Right here. So I'll be making use of those on Flight Simulator 2004. Let's see, Flight Simulator 2000, I really don't have any... I don't have anything really specific as far as scenery going on with that. But even ATC and stuff, I'm doing things different. So 2002 is using the default ATC. 2004 uses ProFlight Emulator. FSX is using Vox ATC. As far as traffic programs, Flight Simulator 98, Flight Simulator 98 is using ProFlight 98, and 2000 is using ProFlight 2000. ATC programs, I've got FS Traffic for Flight Simulator 98. I wanted to try to find something different for Flight Simulator 2000. I don't think I will. I don't think there is anything else except for FS Traffic, because you have to record your own traffic. So I may just use FS Traffic because it can be used on 2000 also. So I may just use it there also. On 2002, I'm going to be using this, My Traffic. But I also got Ultimate Traffic, and I have FS Traffic 2002 for that also. So I don't know which ones, if I can have all three of them, or if I have to switch off between them. Flight Simulator 2004, I'm using World of AI. FSX at the moment is using World of AI, but with the Vox ATC, it creates its own traffic. So it doesn't matter what traffic program you have installed, because in order, you have to take the traffic sliders and slide them all the way down, since Vox ATC will create its own traffic, because it controls it. That's why it's the only one that does. So whereas the other ones, it's kind of like the AI traffic just kind of does what it does, and the ATC just kind of translates what it is that they're doing. So it makes it look like they're doing something, like they're controlling it, but they're not really. However, I have thought about getting Ultimate Traffic Live for FSX, and I might do it for maybe some in-between stuff. But anyway, getting back to the whole Prepared series, I would definitely use Ultimate Traffic Live for Prepared. But kind of wanted to go over what I'm considering on using for Prepared. And this could get kind of expensive after a while. But here we go. Mega Scenery Earth. Yeah, we'll put it right here so that way we can still see what's going on. So this is what I'm looking at doing with this. And of course, You know, these are like anywhere between $30 and $40 a pop. And they've got all 50 states. I think they have all 50 states. I don't know. You know what? I don't think they do. I don't think they have Alaska. I don't think I remember seeing Alaska or Hawaii in here. Now, some of these have buildings. A lot of it is just flat. So, and it wipes out your trees and everything. But there is another program. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Working on it here. Okay. So I want to show you a couple of things here. Okay. So getting back to Mega Scenery, my plan is to get this Illinois, obviously, because you know we're gonna fly the same flight as we did on all the other ones. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get these the disc-based versions instead of download versions. I don't know. It'd be nice to have the disc-based versions. But in addition to this, I need to check my controls. Okay, they're good. So in addition to this, hold on. Oh, it's still like too big. Okay. So like I said, this will have some buildings in it, but a lot of it's going to be flat. There's not going to be any trees or anything like that. This here supposedly fixes that. It's relatively inexpensive, but this one here is like landscapes, and this is tree line. So let's go ahead and open each of these so you can see what they are. So this is 3D objects for photo scenery. So you can see it'll put down buildings. You still have your photo scenery, and then this will put buildings down on top of that, so that way things don't look so flat. So you take a look at that. And so, and this is for Illinois. The land of Lincoln. To cover it all, landscapes, Illinois includes 3,700,000 autogen buildings, including over 1 million accurately placed buildings and 2 million houses placed by artificial intelligence. 6 million wooded areas of vegetation derived from the U.S. government. Hundreds of obstacles digitally compiled by the FAA and VFR POI, like towers, water towers, windmills, grain, etc. This is landscapes. So landscapes takes the original tree line to the next level by adding buildings and other objects to the trees and enhance the experience. The product, and I think you have to get each of them. The product brings back superior 3D to photo scenery and photoreal. Wisconsin is an obvious addition to the range. I don't know why they have mentioned that. Landscapes is part of a continuing line of flight simulation products designed to enhance the simulated flying of professional and amateur alike. It covers North America and many other countries to a degree previously impossible and never experienced. Currently, the series blankets photo scenery for 49 U.S. states, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and now Wisconsin. With the series, you can complete your photo scenery and take it to the next level with full 3D AutoGen. So this brings it up on par with X-Plane, because you can use the orthophotos of X-Plane and then have the overlays. And something tells me that this, with the new Vecta, is going to work out a little better than what X-Plane has got, because their overlays sometimes looks kind of wonky. You can check out my X-Plane series, doing the same exact flights, the same exact route, so that way you can actually compare how everything is looking. And some things in X-Plane look great, and then other times it's just kind of like, what? It plops down houses where it doesn't make sense where houses would be. Things like where like industrial buildings or malls, there is no 3D building, but it places trees on top of the photo scenery in that area, so it doesn't always look the greatest. But when it works pretty good. Alright, so this scenery eliminates or reduces the problems produced by imagery, lack of seasonal differences, uneven colors or contrast across various tiles by covering the ground with a Flight Simulator native AutoGen capable of reflecting time but not laid out relatively randomly and in a repetitive tiles like the FSX AutoGen and other traditional Flight Simulator scenery add-ons. This 3D landscape shows what is there when you fly over a location as it should be shown. This product makes no change to your available AutoGen object libraries, and frame rates are the same as they would be for rendering similar amounts of 3D scenery using the same setup. This is for FSX and FSX Steam for non-commercial use. Why is that? Oh, I see why they're saying that. In other words, gamers. VFR Series Pro. VFR Series Pro for Prepare 3D. Intended for commercial use only. You can use Prepared as long as you use it as a simulator and not as a game. VFR Series Pro. I wonder, does that not... Okay, so then maybe this and Mega Scenery cannot be used together on Prepare? I'm going to have to look this up. I'm going to have to look up what VFR Series Pro is. Landscape states are available separately or in bundles. Got the USA Complete, all the lower 48 plus Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and U.S. Virgin Islands, East, West, AutoGen, all that good stuff. Alright, requirements. You must have photo scenery installed for the area you have loaded. Landscapes. And let's see. Or Prepare 3D for VFR Series Pro. What is this? I've never heard of this. I have never heard of that before. Let's see what that is. Here, I'm going to do a copy and paste here. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you the tree line. So the tree line will take the photorealistic scenery and start plopping down trees. So you see what it does there? I mean, it looks really good. that. This is definitely very playable. So detail forest, woodlands, and city parks, autogen for FSX and prepared photo scenery add-ons. Now see, this one says FSX are prepared. I'm going to assume the Steam edition also works. Although I'm not using it, I wouldn't be using it on Steam. So the world doesn't look flat on takeoff or landing. Approaches are more realistic, but you don't lose the excellent perspective provided by most photo scenery add-ons. The photo scenery springs to life as you maneuver close to ground level at the airfield, taking off on approach or landing. The 3D aspect of prepared and FSX is badly diminished if photo scenery is used. Now though, you can restore the 3D look and keep the accuracy of photo reality for all of North America. So that's kind of what I was thinking to do with prepared. However, we got to figure out what in the world this prepared 3D for VFR Series Pro is. I've never heard of that. VFR Series Pro. What is that? So you can see it. It's coming up here. VFR Series. Maybe this is it. Flying with Landscapes USA. Landscapes USA. New Vectas. VFR Series Landscapes USA is compatible with all add-on scenery. Following FSX and Prepare 3D standards. Got me. I have no idea. Well, one thing that I can check out is Delaware, because Delaware is free on Mega Scenery. Delaware. Okay, so landscapes is, so you got the landscapes, you got the tree line. And Delaware, I don't know why these came up, but you can see Delaware is free. They give you one state for free, so you can check it out. I did at first, and I was like, man, this is flat and ugly. It's like I didn't like it at all. But I didn't know about the new Vecta landscapes and tree lines, so I suppose I can test out Delaware with the landscapes and the tree line. And if it works on prepared, great. I can do all the other states too. Are we getting close? Oh, we are. We're 14 miles away. All right. Let's take a look out our windows and see if we can see the airport. Yeah, it's probably over there. So yeah, a little bit of inside inside information as far as what I've got planned. Go and turn our autopilot off. Whoa. Well, I guess it didn't like that, did it? Oh my goodness. Look at this, the whole time we've remained centered on this needle. That's pretty cool. Trying to get our rate of descent adjusted here. The airport is probably over there somewhere. I'd say let's go ahead and make our turn now. We're 11 miles away. And I see it. Okay, I think if we fly at this vector, we should be good. We'll bring down some flaps. I like how when you use the flaps on this, it doesn't like wildly like throw you up into the air like some of the other simulators do. This one is kind of like, okay, because it's like you drop your flaps and it's like your nose goes way up. I don't know if that's realistic or not. I know it's realistically annoying. And that out there, folks, is the Mississippi River. Take a look at it. It's going north towards Wisconsin. I think we're quite... Oh, this is starting to move. See, the runway that we want to take, I think, is right here. You know, at first when I was using those large rectangles for the textures, I was kind of like, nah, I'm not so sure if I like it or not. But yeah, it's kind of grown on me. Better get some more flaps down. And our landing gear. It's like I was centered, and now I'm not. It almost looks like if I center myself on these rectangles right here, on this line, just kind of moving ourselves over here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the altitude here should be just over 1,000. Should we request to land? Request to land. Hey, I forgot to do it on the other two flights. I hope we can get the speech synthesis going. I would love to be able to hear that talking. I'm sure after a while it'll get boring, but alright, here we go. There we go. Let's lean this. Okay, we leaned it. Alright, so here we are. We are at Dubuque, Iowa, next to the Mississippi. You got a little bit of inside information on what I'm planning to do with Prepared. When I get it, pretty much planning on getting it, considering there's an investment that I'm making, which I'm going to be applying to it. So, so anyway, but yeah, be sure to check this flight out on the other simulators, and hope to see you on the next leg of our journey. Be safe. And if you had fun watching this flight, then you might enjoy watching the same flight on one of these other simulators. It's a great way to compare the difference between them, but it's also a nice way to relive some old memories, or make some new ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around in the wild blue yonder.